Today I'm going to be going over all my axe heads, all the differences between each of them. I personally don't have any ground axe heads, which they are very beautiful, but I just haven't been lucky enough to find one. I'm going to start off with this, which is not really an axe per se, but it's called an adze, which I've made a short about it before. How they would have them long ways like that, kind of. Could have been used for digging like a hoe for agriculture, or digging out canoes. The way they would make their canoes, they'd burn them and kind of chop at it, dig them out. Beautiful material is made out of. It was actually found here on this property, way out there by that frisbee golf thing. Need to look at this property a little bit more and find some more stuff. And this is actually my first axe head I ever found. Not as old as this one. This one was probably late archaic to early woodland. Well, this one's probably late woodland to early Mississippian, around when the Spanish and French would have been interacting with natives. It carries that more modern axe head look. And right here at the top, there's a little spot. See if you can see it. It looks ground down, smooth. Guessing for, a sinew wrap. Go from there down to this part, which has also been ground down, smooth. And then here's the flakes they took out to make a hafting point. And there's some flakes on the back. Could have been hafted. They could still scrape with it or cut with it if they needed to. But here's the chopping front with a couple flakes that show damage, chopping damage. Right there's a big break. They would have resharpened right there. Popped a little flakes out of it to resharpen it. And the actual shape of the whole piece, it's not a spall they would have busted off, but it looks more like a temperature break. So they would have had a giant, nodule of chert. They would heat it up in their fire and throw some cold water on it, and it'll bust it up into these little spalls that they could work with and shape up into whatever tool they needed. And then next are these two, which I found right next to each other. I'll start with this one, the one I found first. Beautiful cortex on it, shines almost blue. All these flakes. And right here is all these step flakes, or hinge flakes. Hinge flakes are when they're rounded down in that little recess, and the step flakes are when they're flat. They have like a 90-degree angle to them. And I think all of those are on purpose to kind of widen this section out. And it's been ground a little bit. It's not sharp at all anywhere, or jagged. Like everywhere else, this is all still sharp and jagged. Nice flakes busted off just for a little chopping tool. It doesn't show a lot of damage on the edge, so I'm thinking it could be ceremonial. Sometimes they'd make tools just to bury for, like I said, ceremonial purposes. Praise their ancestors and the tools they made. Right here. This one's beautiful. I love this one a lot because I think it looks very much like a heart. If it was ceremonial, they, could snap it into whatever shape they wanted to. Some sort of effigy. especially with that white cortex on the outside. Looks very fat and muscular, like. They knew what they were doing. They didn't want to reduce it. They just popped the flakes off the edge that they needed. And on this side, there's some flakes that show a punching technique that is used to make square edges. Which is kind of a pain in the ass to do. Someone that knew what they were doing, for sure. Love this flake right here. It's a really long one. Follow a lot of these flakes to the point of impact. Right here on the back too. See the shape of the antler, whatever they were using to pop flakes out. Right in that little dip. This messed up spot, all these step fractures they did. Like I said, had to be on purpose. They knew what they were doing. Worked with this stuff all the time. To square off the edge like that though, to make it more comfortable in the hand. Leads me to believe that it's hand axe. Some people might want to say it's a quarry blank or a preform, but a quarry blank wouldn't have as much work done. They would kind of just bust a piece, shape it off a touch, and then carry it back in a sack or something. These have purposeful flakes all around the edge to create that blade. There's a huge break right here too. I don't know if that was on purpose or I was tumbling around. If it was on purpose, it's to make that heart shape, like I think. It's all just kind of guesses though. You can use some clues here and there, like the edges that they wear down for it to be comfortable. You wouldn't want it, cutting you up. And this looks a lot like this material. Some form of jasper. And this is more like a preform. All three of these were found next to each other. But like I said, this one looks more like a preform. It's kind of rough, flaking. No real method to the madness, just busting big flakes off to get it thinned. There is some method though. There's that bevel that they would have planned. Preemptively to get it, to the right little curve. With that bevel so it'll fly right. There's just one of them hinge fractures that looks more like an accident. If you hit a hinge fracture like that, you're not gonna keep beating at it just to get more. You'd be fighting yourself then, like they did here. They'd be doing it on purpose, not to fight themselves. Same thing here. Just repeatedly just getting those step fractures at a steep angle, the way they hit it. Because they don't want to drive a flake through it and thin it. They just want to work that edge down a little more. Especially with the punch flakes right there on that edge. It's beautiful. There's only a couple taken out, but that's what they were doing, hitting that punch sideways. By punch, I mean they'd have had their secondary antler and kind of had it in place in between their legs or something. Hold their antler up to it and have a secondary bopper to indirectly, strike it. Like a chisel almost. And there's even hematite veins that run through this rock that have quartz inclusions. So if this was to be a heart, it's very symbolic with that cortex and the hematite veins that run through. It's not a local material, same as this jasper. This one's probably a little more close, maybe southern Missouri, something. But these look very exotic. I would say definitely West Coast. That's my axe head collection and all the differences. Of course, they had thousands of tools and thousands of different uses, so a lot of it can be speculation. Take what you will from it. Beautiful crafts, nonetheless. Definitely worth preserving and getting out of those creeks. That'll be all for this video. I'll try my best to make one here soon. I'm just real busy with life. Hello, baby monitor.